Hi! So this morning we're going to make Italian bread. This recipe I found on Noreen Kitchen YouTube channel. And I've used her recipes before. Actually, they're very good. A lot of them are very good. I haven't made all of them, of course, but I've made most of them. And today we're going to try the Italian bread recipe that she just posted, probably a few days ago. So what her ingredients were a 1 1/3 cup of water. We have a teaspoon of salt. Now she used a tablespoon. We made the bread yesterday, and we thought it was a little too salty, so we cut it back to a teaspoon. We have a tablespoon of yeast, a tablespoon of sugar, a 1/4 cup of potato flakes, 1/4 cup of milk, and a 1/4 cup of oil. Now, I didn't have any olive oil. She recommends olive oil, but I didn't have any, so I'm not going to go run out to the store and get them. And 4 to 5 cups of flour. Now, there's 4 cups in here that we're going to start with. And we'll see how it goes. If we need to add more or less, we'll kind of see. So, we'll start dumping this in our little mixer here. I'm going to do the flakes next. That. Here's our dry milk and our oil. Yummy, yummy. This was our sugar. Dump that in. And our instant yeast. Now you can use regular yeast. You don't have to use the instant yeast. You can actually use that. And then I'm going to put in the flour. And then the salt. And now we're going to mix her up. It's going to take a while. And I know how much fun it is to watch a mixer go, but we will come back when this is looking good. Alright, our dough is done. There it goes. Nice clean bowl, that's what you want when you're using these mixers. Now if you're doing it by hand, which I have done before, it takes a long time. Obviously you don't have to worry about bowls. So now we're going to take it out, and this is nice and soft. See how nice and squishy it is? It's not heavy, it's not dense, and it doesn't stick to your hands. It's nice and warm too. So we are going to
get out your misto.
Out my misto. Spray this. Plop it in. Turn. Plop it back. Sometimes I will add a little more oil just to make sure. Oh, there's need oil in here. And put it over here. Cover it up, and we're going to wait until it's double, so it'll get about up to yay high right about here when we're done. Might take a while. It's kind of cold in the house, but I did turn the heater on, so hopefully we have better luck today. And okay, so our dough has risen. It's taken about, what would you say, an hour, hour and a half maybe? And now it's nice and poofy, as you can see. It leaves a little dimple. So we're going to bring it out. Poofy. Push it down a smidge. Cut in half as best we can. And then roll them out a little bit. How's that look? Pretty good? Okay. This is a upside down
cookie
baking sheet.
Yeah.
Cookie sheet.
With
some
cornmeal.
cornmeal. Right. And that'll keep it from sticking like it did yesterday. Hopefully. Okay, and that's about the same as that one. Okay, is that about right?
Mm-hmm.
Looks about right. Okay.
Like a pause button.
So now we're going to cover these with a cloth and let that rise again. Over here with our little cheesecloth that we have. Let it rise again, probably about another hour, and then we'll be back to finish them off, this time with some toppings. And okay, so while our bread is rising, I wanted to point out we have our oven preheating at 400. And at the bottom tier of our oven, we have a tile. I do not have a pizza stone, but we went out and bought a big, huge travertine tile, and we used it the other day. Actually, worked really, really well. So that needs to preheat in the oven as well, because it has to be nice and hot by the time you throw the bread in there. We're probably about 15-20 minutes away from throwing our bread in, so we'll... Okay, so it's been about an hour. Our bread, as you can see, is nice and poofy, if you take the cover off. And we have two beautiful loaves there. So what we're going to do now is we are going to use melted butter. Now, normally you would use, I guess, egg white for this, but I have two kids that are allergic to eggs, so we can't use that. So we use butter, and we're going to just do one of them. We're going to gently put some butter on the bread, very, very gently, like this, sideways, yeah, like that. And then we're going to sprinkle ours with a combination of Parmesan cheese and garlic powder. I think we threw in some onion powder, a little smidge of salt, and what else do we put in there? Some Italian seasonings, whatever we happen to find in our little, that's okay. That's okay, make sure you get that little spot right there. And probably a little bit more on this end over here. And then, of course, we're going to save some melted butter for afterwards. Okay, so now I can sprinkle away. I can see a little spot right there. Okay, just take it in. I would sprinkle it with your fingers. It's probably easier. Yeah, just sprinkle it along the top. Walmart used to make a loaf that had garlic parmesan on it, and my kids loved it when it first came out. Absolutely loved it. And then they stopped making it for some reason, of course, because we liked it. We always joke around about that. So you can put as much on there as you want. It doesn't matter to me. Okay, that looks pretty good. Looks pretty even. The other one we're going to leave plain, but you know what? Maybe we'll go ahead and put the butter on that one too.
But what about the seasoning?
No seasoning. We'll just leave it the way it is. Not too rough. Remember, we don't want to deflate it. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, looks good. All right, and I'm going to hand this off to Sarah. And then we're going to take our trusty old knife here, and we're going to gently score it. And I'm talking like gentle, very. Oops, I didn't go over too well. We don't want to deflate it too much, but we want it to look pretty. Usually about 4 is nice. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to just gently lift that up a little bit, just in case it decided to stick a smidge. I had one stick yesterday. So we're going to take it, and like yesterday, I forgot to take the top one out. Put that in there. And hopefully, we can get it in one shot. Well, there goes one. And there goes the other one. Okay, so, in the oven, close, oh, almost forgot my ice cubes. Throw a few ice cubes. We'll throw in probably 4. We'll close the door, set the timer for 20 minutes, and we wait. So 20 minutes, we'll be back to check on the bread. Okay, so our timer, actually we ended up baking a little longer, but we can take it out now. So this ultimately is what the bread looks like. Now this one's a little lighter, and that's okay. It's the bottom looks really nice, because that's the one that we actually added some butter to. And then here's the other one with the stuff on it, which looks really good. And that too, the bottom looks really well. I'm going to turn this off, and then we'll clean it off after we're done. After it cools off. And those look really, really good. So we'll see what they taste like. I think next time maybe I just won't make them so long, but see how they taste first. We'll be back. Okay, the moment of truth. So, Sarah, go ahead and let's take a piece. Now, compared to yesterday, let me know what the bread looks like. Because like I said, we actually changed it up a bit. The loaf that we had yesterday used a tablespoon of salt, and the bread tasted kind of salty in my opinion. I wasn't too interested in too much salt, so we cut back on the salt on this one. So I'm curious to see what this one's going to taste like. So what do you think? Is it good? Is it still kind of salty? Oh, okay. So why don't you cut a piece for me and cut a piece for your sister. We already talked that we want about 50% of that loaf. All right. I'll give you some butter on mine. Oh, Katie, why don't you go ahead? Or somebody go ahead. Butter up. One for Katie, one for me. Ooh, we got a nice big fat piece. Yummy, yummy doodles. Okay, that's good. Yeah, it's not salty. And for some reason, not as dense as yesterday. Like I said, I had a hard time rising the bread yesterday because it was kind of cold in the kitchen. But it's good. What do you think? Thumbs up? Alright. Well, thank you for joining us. Try the recipe, it's really good.